Comparing distributions. What does AP want me to do when I compare distributions? I have a back-to-back stem plot. It must have something to do with pulse rate. They did some experiments, and they have the after results and the before results. Don't really know anything else, but let's compare these graphs. When you hear the word compare, you need to be thinking shape, center, spread, and outlier or something different. So let's look at these. Let's talk about the shape. The shape of the after is maybe, if you want to say, skewed a little bit to the right. I could go with that. But when you look at the shape of before, most people would think, it's shaded maybe to the left. It is hard to be able to see when it's like this. It's going the opposite way. So what I like to do is kind of move it on its side. So if I move this on its side, I go 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then it's 100, 110s. And just look, let's just count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's probably off the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1. And that's it. If I look at it this way, by either rewriting it or if I have a paper of turning it on its side, I notice, oh, this is not skewed left, it's skewed right as well. They are both skewed right. So when you're comparing distributions, you want to talk about both of their shapes. The after is skewed right. The before is also slightly skewed right. You might want to throw that in there, the word fairly skewed right or slightly skewed right for both of these. That sounds good. Center. We talked about the shape. Now we need to talk about the center. You don't need to get too technical. You just need to find about the center. I would say the center for before is probably pretty close to 76, about that number right there. The after is somewhere in here, probably about here. You don't need to mention the exact and say that the median is about 76 and the median for the after is 98. You just need to say that the after has a higher pulse rate center or a higher pulse rate median than the before. I use comparative language. The higher gets the point for AP. After has a higher median than the before. Last is spread. You can talk about standard deviation. You can talk about interquartile range. But those you would have to enter all the data in, and we don't want to do that. We want to save time. So let's talk about the range. The before range goes from 68 all the way to, it looks like, 110. So before range is 110 minus 68, which I believe is 42. The after range goes from 86 to 146, which I believe has a range of 60. Now that's some beautiful work, but that is not comparing. All I need to say is the after has a higher range than the before. If I wanted to say the after range is 60, which is higher than the before range of 42, that would also work. I don't see any outliers. maybe 146 is an outlier. But if I'm just asked to compare, I don't think they want me to waste time checking for an outlier. Only really check for an outlier if they tell you to, or if it's significantly. If this was 180, I would mention 180 is an outlier. This might be. It's probably not going to hurt to mention it. But there is your review on comparing distributions.